My name is Onome, and this is a story of how I almost lost everything I had worked so hard for, all because of an evil nail technician. Growing up in a family of successful business people, I developed a sharp sense for business early on. My father was a renowned wine merchant, and my mother ran a flourishing handbag business. As the fourth of five children, I watched my older siblings thrive in their own ventures, and I knew I had to carve my own path. With a bold idea and unwavering determination, I launched a shoe importation business. It took off faster than I ever imagined. I owned multiple warehouses. My shops were known in every major market, and my name rang with style and success. By the age of 27, I was not just successful, I was living the dream. I had fleet of car, a thriving business, and a reputation that opened doors. But beyond business, there was one thing I loved deeply: nails. Beautiful artistic nails. Fixing my nail was more than a routine, it was an obsession. I could spend any amount on the right design. Long, short, I loved them all. Then came the day everything changed. A customer had walked into one of my shops to purchase a goods. I couldn't help but notice her hands. Her nails were stunning, like something out of a beauty magazine. I was instantly obsessed. I stopped what I was doing and asked her, "Please, where do you fix your nail?" She smiled and shared the address. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, giggling like a schoolgirl. I had already taken picture of the design, and I was determined to get the exact style the next morning. By dawn, I was out of the house. I wanted to be our first customer, and I was. The shop had just opened when I arrived. The nail technician was a chubby, cheerful woman with a warm smile that immediately put me at ease. The shop was clean. I took a seat and eagerly showed her the style I had saved on my phone. Without hesitation, she began her work. As she filed, shaped, and polished, I watched this masterpiece come to life. The colors, the gems, it was everything I had hoped for. But little did I know that this beautiful set of nails was the beginning of a nightmare I never saw coming. I was over the moon as I watched the nails take shape. The technician spent about 2 hours working on them, and when she was done, I was absolutely blown away. The nails were stunning, better than I imagined. I couldn't stop admiring them. They sparkled like diamond under the light, each detail so perfectly crafted. I was so pleased that I paid her extra without hesitation. It felt like money well spent. As I stepped out of the salon, head stunned. People paused to admire my nails, and I walked with proud confidence of a beauty queen. I went straight home after fixing something this big and beautiful. There was no way I was going to stress myself at work that day. All day long, I was bubbling with joy. I kept making videos, flaunting my nails, and showing off the nail to anyone who would look. I posted them on my WhatsApp status, Instagram stories, and everywhere. I was obsessed. But the next day, I went to back to my business as usual, and that was the beginning of my problem. I got to the store, and for the first time in a long while, business was unusually slow. In fact, no one came to buy anything. At first, I thought it was a quiet day, but it wasn't just that. Clients who had placed large order suddenly called to cancel, giving no clear reasons. On top of that, we had to refund few people who changed their mind. Throughout that day, we didn't sell as much as a pin. Strangely, while money wasn't coming in, expenses kept pouring from different directions: right, left, centers, bills, repair, unexpected charges. It was like money was just flying out of my hands. I left the shop heartbroken. None of my stores made a single sale that day. Still, we were hopeful that things would bounce back the next day. I got to the store early the following morning, but the same thing happened: no sales. That was when I really started to panic. I began asking questions, trying to figure out what was going wrong, but nothing made sense. Even more confusing was the fact that other stores around me were making sales. Their shops were full, but mine was empty. I quickly called my sister and my mom and explained everything to them. My sister was the first to say, Onome, this is not ordinary. Someone might be jealous of you. Jealous? I thought hard. I wasn't the type to keep many friends. I minded my business. Could it be that someone around me, a neighbor, a competitor? It didn't add up, but slowly I began to suspect everyone. The next day, my mother took me to a seer. After some rituals and cleansing, they asked me to go home and wait for things to turn around. But nothing changed. In fact, if anything, things got worse. The expenses without sales kept increasing. Every day brought a new challenge, a fresh crisis. I was overwhelmed. My sister, desperate to help, took me to another spiritual house for cleansing. Still no solution. One full week passed without a single sale. I broke down in tears. Who did I offend? I kept asking myself, what is happening to me? Some of my workers got scared and quit. They say strange things were happening. I didn't blame them. I was just as confused. My family kept supporting me, taking me from one place to another, seeking help, but nothing was working. By the second week, I was emotionally and mentally drained. Normally, I change my nails every 2 weeks like work clock. But this particular set, it wasn't even getting old. In fact, it looked prettier and shinier as the days went by. Strangely, I didn't feel like removing it even when I should have. For the first time since launching my thriving shoe business, everything began to crumble. And it happened without warning. Orders were cancelled, clients disappeared, and expenses rose. While other stores boomed with sales, mine just sat in silence. I tried everything, marketing, prayers, and even spiritual cleansing, but nothing worked. What was happening to my business? Was this just a market down, or was something darker at play? I slid into a fog of depression, watching helplessly as the empire I built crumbled before my own eyes. My family were worried, but unable to stem the bleeding. One gloomy evening, while I trudged down the roadside, lost in thought, an elderly man stepped into my path. His voice trembled as he whispered, My daughter, I am hungry. For a heartbeat, my own trouble flashed before me, but compassion won. I guided him to a nearby buka, ordered a steamy plate of jollof rice with a spicy fried fish, and watched him eat as though he has not eaten food in days. His gratitude shone brighter than a flickering bulb overhead, warming me into the way I hadn't felt in weeks. After buying food, I turned to leave, but the old man gently held my hand. Hold on, my daughter, he said, tightening his grip slightly as his eyes rested on my finger. Your nails, they are very beautiful. Where do you fix them? Immediately I smiled. Compliments on my nails always make me happy. I proudly told him the place, even showing off my finger a little more. But his expressions changed. He looked at me, not with admiration, but with deep sadness. Then he said softly, Please take them off. I froze. Take what off? I asked, confused. These nails, he said. This beautiful, expensive nail work, please, for your own good, take them off, he said. I stared at him in shock. Take off what? These gorgeous nails I paid so much for. I'm sorry, sir, I can't do it, oh. These nails are too fine. I laughed nervously because his face was serious, but I became silent. For your own good, he repeated, take it off. That was the moment I started to feel scared. I sat down, back slowly, and asked him in a low voice, Papa, what is it? Please talk to me. He looked at me with eyes full of sorrow. My daughter, he said slowly, those nails are demonic. They are the reason for your sudden setback. Every blessing meant for you is being transferred to the one who fixed them. I froze. My heart sank. It all started to make sense. The cancellation, the losses, the strange expenses, Everything has started the moment I fixed those nails. Without wasting a second, I called someone nearby and we began to forcefully rip the nails off my finger. It was painful, deeply painful, but the pain I've been enduring in my spirit was worse. Blood stained my hands, but I didn't care. My destiny was more important than beauty. When the last piece came off, the old man looked at me and said, "Now dig a grave, 6 feet, bury them." I didn't argue. I called my brother, and together we found a piece of land. I paid some men to dig a deep hole. Once it was ready, I dropped the cursed nail inside and they covered it with soil. The old man then warned, "That woman, she will try to find you. No matter where you are, she will try." We thanked him and begged him to at least take some money, but he refused every offer and walked away quietly, disappearing in the midst of the cold evening. Hope returned to my chest for the first time in weeks. On our way home, we stopped at the supermarket just to pick a few things. Just as I stepped out of the car, I heard shouting. A mad woman was running towards me. "Please forgive me," she screamed. "Please forgive me." I turned to look and my heart nearly stopped. It was a native, barefoot. Her face was scratched and swollen. She was no longer herself. Madness had consumed her. I jumped into the car, trembling as we drove away. The next morning, I returned to my store and it was like I entered a different world. Sales resumed. My customer came flooding back. Calls rolled from old clients and new ones. My business was booming again. I was overwhelmed with gratitude to God. Later, through quiet investigation, I discovered that nail tech had done the same to several unsuspecting women. But with me, she met her end. Her reign ended the moment I met that mysterious old man. Since then, my obsession for nails ended completely. In fact, I became afraid of them. I learned the hard way that not everything beautiful is harmless. And thank God, because I could have lost everything I worked so hard to build. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe to my channel.